Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Horler and I'm here with Niall Buckley of AIB Bank, and we're talking about APIs and open banking. Thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you.
So why have open APIs become suddenly so important, and are banks viewing them strategically or tactically?
So maybe I'll answer the second part of your question first. I think that banks who look at open APIs as a tactical viewpoint either aren't looking to the future or have decided they don't want to participate. All we have to do is look to the success of open APIs in other industries to see the value of their potential. I think answering your question around is it a surprise, is this new? I think there are other leaders in this space who maybe disagree. So BBVA have been on their API journey since 2013, if not earlier. Česká Sportelna in Czechoslovakia have been on their journey for a number of years as well. And we have Citibank and we've got Barclays too, who have the same story to tell. According to the programmable web, if you compare 2009 to 2013, it's a good while back, there were 80 or 90 financial services APIs back in 2009, and in 2013 there were over 500, and that was over 4 years ago. So open APIs aren't new by any stretch of the imagination. I think it is fair to say, though, the following is that the number of APIs that European banks have published to date until this year has been quite small. So I think I would accept that between CMA and PSD2 as regulatory drivers, and also just the realization of the strategic value of APIs, that they are now a priority right across Europe.
So what challenges do banks face around open APIs, and how can they tackle them?
So I think there's probably two broad categories of challenge. So one is technological. So we have a front door, an API channel we need to put in place, and there's a certain amount of engineering that's required to put it in place, but also there's engineering to connect core banking systems and legacy systems to that front door. I think that banks that have experience with internal APIs as an integration pattern, and banks that have had partner APIs already are probably have a head start on others. How to tackle some of these technology challenges? Well, some of it is just hard graft. We need to build an API platform and an API channel, but I don't think it makes an awful lot of sense to build a homegrown version. I think it's something that really should be bought, otherwise that's asking for pain. But on top of the technology challenges, there are also business challenges. There are legal issues to be concerned about. There are operational issues. There's also, outside of PSD2, leave that aside for a moment, there's also commercial considerations we need to think about. So how to tackle the business challenges? Well, the best thing to do is to learn from others. So we're in constant dialogue with other banks who are a little bit ahead of where we are, and we're learning from them. But also what we're able to do is look at other industries who've traveled the API journey previously over a number of years. And we see that companies like Swisscom, for example, are really open with their experiences, the mistakes that they've made, and how to fix them.
Are APIs the only ingredient needed for open banking? And how soon will open banking be a reality?
Well, to answer your first question, no, they're not the only ingredient. They're an enabling technology, but there's more to it than that. For one bank to build an open API solution, that could be very different to what another bank builds. With over 4,000 banks in Europe, think of just PSD2 alone, in theory that could mean that we could have over 4,000 different open API solutions. I don't think that's going to happen. I definitely don't think that'd be a good thing. However, what I do think is clear is that multiple standards are going to emerge. At this moment in time, I'm not sure if that's going to be single-digit standards or whether it'll move into double-digit standards. We'll just have to wait and see. However, multiple standards, and the more that there are, is clearly not a good thing. How soon will this happen? Well, there are issues if they remain unresolved, right, which will grind open banking to a halt, which clearly wouldn't be a good thing. However, I think if we address those issues intelligently, and I think that we can, I think we'll see open banking, or the seeds of start to germinate, so to speak, in 2018. But I think it will start slowly, and I think it will start within country borders. And I think that's fair. I think that actually for financial services, it's a prudent organisation. We have big responsibilities. I think it's okay for it to start slowly. But what I do think is that as we hit 2019 and onwards, it will grow rapidly and exponentially as well. So let's see what happens.
Niall, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
And thank you for watching.